heat warning extended by an entire day. The reasoning behind that and an update to the weekend storm threat. This afternoon, right around noon, we actually ended up seeing the extreme heat warning extended by an entire day. So now this lasting through Friday. Not entirely surprised by that because it looked like all along Friday could end up being just as warm as the last several days have been. And right now the National Weather Service going ahead and extending that warning by a 24-hour period. So Cincinnati right now is sitting at 91 degrees. We have temperatures that are sitting at about 96 in Harrison, 93 in Hamilton. Kentucky, much of the same. Feels like about 102 in Independence. That 104 reading for our feels like temperature in Cincinnati coming in from Lunkin. Hamilton feels like 104 degrees, feels like about 103 in Delhi, feels like closer to 102 in Blanchester, 98 in Batavia. So either way, it is very hot outside and it's going to stay this way through the next several days. So again, hottest hours of the days between essentially noon and 8 o'clock in the evening. It stays incredibly hot. Tonight, if you're heading out to the banks for the Noah Kahan concert, 6:30 at Great American Ballpark, temperatures at that point aren't going to change much from where we are right now. And I still think it feels like about 100 to 103, 105 throughout the early part of the concert, still feeling like close to 100 through at least 8 o'clock tonight. So staying hot now, but I've got an update to those storm chances as we head into the holiday weekend coming up here in a few minutes. Sheree?
Alice.
Few days, but I do have an update to that weekend forecast with the rain. I'll show you the likelihood that you end up seeing rainfall Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Coming up here in a few minutes. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5 and we'll be right 103 and 105 this afternoon. Batavia is up to 100, feels like 103 degrees out in Hamilton right now. So it stays hot, it stays humid, it stays hazy outside for the rest of tonight. If you're heading out to the banks for either the World Cup or if you're going to be going out to the Noah Kahan concert or if you're just kind of watching the Noah Kahan or listening to it from outside of Great American Ballpark, plan on some serious heat because we'll still feel like at least 100 degrees through 8 o'clock this evening. There is, of course, the extreme heat warning that's in effect now through Friday because it looks like Friday we yet again see our temperatures anywhere from about 100 to 105 for that real feel temperature value. So that's why it's been extended by about another 24 hours. Also looks like there's potential that we don't see quite as much rain on Friday. There's still the chance in there, but it's looking like Friday for a lot of the day ends up potentially dry with a chance of seeing a stray shower or thunderstorm popping up here by the time we get to Friday afternoon or evening. So of course, still keep a close eye on any potential heat illness, heat stroke, things like that. Here's an idea of where that heat index is going to land over the next couple of days. 103 Thursday, about 100 to 101, 102 on Friday for the real feel temperature. And then by Saturday, because it looks like we have a better chance of seeing some rainfall, our temperatures aren't going to feel quite into the triple digits Saturday afternoon, but it's still, going to be incredibly hot outside on Saturday. Don't get me wrong. And with that comes that chance of rain and thunderstorms increasing more so for the 4th of July as well as the day after. So for the rest of tonight, we'll stay dry outside. I think a calm wind overnight as well. That could lead to some more patchy fog by tomorrow morning. Then the rest of the day tomorrow, we're looking at a mostly dry Thursday. Not necessarily looking at that pop-up chance as much. Tomorrow might have a little bit more cloud cover out there, but then by Friday, here's what I'm talking about with that potential for some rain. Yes, there's a possibility, but it's entirely possible as well that we end up seeing a mostly dry afternoon, mostly dry evening on Friday, but keep in mind there will be some thunderstorm activity somewhere in the region. So we still could see some rainfall here by Friday, but it's looking a little bit less likely compared to Saturday and Sunday. With Saturday and Sunday themselves, we'll have that chance of scattered rain and thunderstorms, actually pretty likely that we've got that around. And with that, there is the potential for some heavy rainfall with those. Any one of them could bring in some downpours. And of course, there is that chance of some lightning too. And then on top of that, some gusty wind will be a possibility. So this is something that we're looking at for mostly Saturday and Sunday, but still an isolated storm threat in there on Friday as well. Saturday, Sunday, chances are there. In terms of timing for Saturday, I know we want to get things planned out for the 4th, for the fireworks, for your festivals, barbecue, anything like that. At this point, I think there's a chance of rain at any point throughout the day on Saturday. Not looking like it's going to be a total miss of a day, but I still think at any given moment we could have some thunderstorms around the area. Saturday or Sunday, cast. Hi there. Oh gosh, it's still another hot day outside. Temperatures feeling like about 100 to 104 across greater Cincinnati, just depending on where you live. So we feel like 104 in Cincinnati. That reading coming in from Lunken. We've also got a feels like temperature of 104 in Hamilton so far, 102 in Delhi, 104 in Harrison. If you're headed downtown anytime soon for the Noah Khan concert or for a World Cup watch party or anything like that, plan on that high heat just sticking around. There's a little bit of breeze, but it's really just kind of blowing around that hot air, but I still think that helps. It's better than nothing at all, but still, it's going to stay incredibly hot throughout the rest of this evening. Temperatures are going to sit right around the low 90s for several hours, but it feels more like the triple digits through at least 7, possibly as late as 8 o'clock tonight, feeling even like the upper 90s by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock as well. So we're staying with this hot weather for several more days, but actually as we get closer to the weekend, we start to see our storm chances going up as our temperatures dial it back just a hair. But getting into this upcoming weekend, we still have the potential for some rain here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not looking as likely that we run into rain on Friday, though. So coming up in a few minutes, I'll show you the updates to when you can expect to see some rainfall in your neighborhood for the holiday weekend coming up. Lasting through Friday, from there on, we start to see rain chances increasing a little bit. No rainfall until we get to Friday, but at that point, we've got some thunderstorms on the way for the holiday weekend. I'll show you how that could have an impact on any plans you might have coming up. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5, and we'll be right back. Port 103 there, 100-degree heat index in Batavia, and it feels more like about 103 in Hamilton so far tonight. So it's really hot outside, very similar to how it's felt the last several afternoons at this time. And tomorrow is going to essentially be a rinse and repeat. Minus that rinse, we don't have that rain chance in there for the rest of today. Tomorrow, even it looked originally like we could see a stray shower popping up tomorrow afternoon, but at this point, it's looking like Thursday ends up being a dry day and a really hot day. 91 now in Cincinnati. Again, that's the actual air temperature. Real feels closer to 100 degrees, and it's still going to feel like 100 plus at Great American this evening. So if you are headed out to the Noah Khan concert, or if you're going to be going out to a watch party tonight, still just stays incredibly hot. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. If you're going into that concert, keep in mind Great American allowing folks to bring in 2 unopened bottles of water. You can bring in a small personal battery operated fan as well to stay cool, as well as some small coolers under certain dimensions that are soft sided. So all those things kind of giving you at least a few options to stay cool if you're going into the concert at Great American Ballpark. We'll stick with that high heat through the next several days, all the way through Friday. Looks like our heat indices are going to reach closer to 100 to 105 in the afternoons, noon to 8 o'clock. That's what we've been saying is the hottest part of the day. And of course, narrowing that down with the peak heat really between 3 and 6. But again, noon and 8, that's how hot it starts to feel, or it starts to feel that hot that early. Over the holiday weekend, we are going to start to see rain chances returning. There's a possibility to see some stray activity on Friday. A thunderstorm could pop up, but as we get into Saturday and Sunday, that's when it looks like our better rain chances start to come into play. We'll begin to see these more sporadic thunderstorms popping up here beginning Saturday, really at any point on Saturday, and then Sunday too. Pretty likely that we have rain around. So the rest of this evening, still staying quiet outside. I think tomorrow morning might have some patchy fog. Our wind is going to calm overnight, and temperatures still only falling down into the 70s. You may have just seen a quick blip of some green on Futurecast for tomorrow afternoon. Again, I think we see some clouds tomorrow. The odds of seeing rainfall popping up tomorrow at this point still look pretty slim. We'll save that potential at least for Friday. Still, there is that chance in there Friday afternoon or evening that we have some rain around the area, but I think for the most part, a lot of us just stay hot and stay dry Friday yet again. By Saturday, we'll start to see those rain chances increasing a little bit more, and Sunday as well. With any of those potential thunderstorms that pop up here this upcoming weekend, heavy downpours, certainly a possibility. Gusty wind also can't be completely ruled out, as well as that potential for some lightning. So Mother Nature may throw in her own fireworks into the forecast this upcoming weekend for the 4th of July. By Sunday, still feeling like the upper 80s outside. I mean, we stay pretty warm throughout the entire holiday weekend. So even though we've got that rain potential in there, it really doesn't knock our temperatures down a ton. We'll start to see that a little